Y'all rolling around in here. I wanted a mess. This is how it's going to start. Yeah. Okay. Tre, tell Josh what you said.
There's a photo of Conway and Loretta, a Halloween photo, where they're wearing like funny masks that you should fly in at some point. I'll just pull it up right here.
That was Devon's idea.
Maybe if like I just flew it into the screen right now to cover me up, and then it just goes right back out. Does that work?
Yeah, as long as you keep all that on camera.
That's
Like you saying that and everything.
That cake.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Must be Monday's cake.
Show Devon.
And he's got the Wonder Bread shirt on.
Yes.
She called him. That's what she called that shirt, the Wonder Bread shirt.
Oh, I love it.
But is he dressed up for Hallows?
I don't know what, but she's a witch. It's probably some kind of Halloween thing.
That, I guess that was her favorite go-to outfit change.
Then why don't you have that picture up?
It's right there, babe.
No, it isn't.
Okay. Do it. Is it or isn't it?
It's not.
He was the Wonder Bread guy. She's the witch.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
We'll fly that in there so everybody else can see it.
Exactly.
Somebody probably out there listening took it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we need to find out where it came from. Fly it in again and in and out. Okay.
Good job, Taylor.
If you took this picture, let us know.
Please. Have we started?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, for God's sakes. Okay, this is our Halloween episode.
It is.
It's
our
great
Halloween.
to be together.
And it's very scary sometimes.
It's so nice to be with you.
Get off your phone.
I'm paying bills.
You're not paying
I
bills.
am authorizing payments.
Are you?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm glad you are authorizing all the bills that you rack up.
I won't go there.
Yeah,
I'll leave that where it is.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Halloween.
Okay.
I gotta get things started. Favorite Halloween thing that you used to get and you would kind of hide them away during Halloween? If you'd get that in your little Halloween pumpkin, what was your favorite Halloween treat?
Smarties, I guess, but I never hid any. Mama, if I wanted more, we go find it somewhere if it had to do with candy. She never made, like, sugar was not something that was like, I would throw a fit because I was spoiled when it had to do with stuff like that. She'd be like, don't fight, we'll go get more Smarties. And then the bag of Smarties would roll out because she didn't want us to fight.
Well, what about you, Tre? Did you have a favorite Halloween treat?
I'm gonna say no, but what? I have a really cool picture of me and Poppy on Halloween. I'm trying to find it. Where I'm sitting.
We're gonna be flying in some pictures on this episode,
Yeah.
aren't we?
Halloween treat, sure. Snickers.
Oh, that was
I
a good
love
one.
a Snicker.
Yeah, Snickers were good. Snickers were good. But did anybody ever like a circus peanut? Nobody liked circus peanuts.
Why
No.
would anybody give somebody Snurkus peanuts?
Snurkus peanut. Now
You
Snurkus.
know those big orange
Snurkus
marshmallow
peanuts.
Did you remember
Snurkus
those?
peanuts I like. Orange Circus, yeah. Elephant toes.
Oh, you like
Yes.
those?
Yeah.
Oh, he likes
No,
them.
I don't like candy corn. Also is nasty.
No, candy
Nobody
corn.
likes candy corn.
I do. But
You do?
You know why? You mix it with salty peanuts.
Ah,
Then you have the caramel kind of candy corn and the salty
My
peanuts.
God.
It
Devin-
tastes like a payday.
Devin.
I don't like anything mixed together.
That's not
Really?
true.
You don't ever like pour Reese's Pieces in your movie popcorn?
Disgusting. All my
No.
friends pour
I
that.
bet you got something.
I do not.
Think
Tre.
about it. Think hard.
Do you not like things touching on your plate?
Oh, I don't care about that. I just don't want sweet and salty mixed together.
She's got a touch of the autism. A little bit.
Edit out the word autism.
No, why? I'm on the spectrum. It's a happy place to be. I'm paying
That's
bills.
so funny.
I mean,
Hey.
we're literally rolling on the podcast, and he hasn't looked up once.
I'm trying to find a picture that relates to our Halloween topic here.
Well, I got something. That
Thank you, Devin.
I heard on a movie this week, and I thought it was really good for this particular episode because it really got me thinking. What are the top 3 things that scare you?
Well, I'm always scared that there's a haint, like in my hotel room. But so I don't like staying in older places unless the kids are with me, because then they can just be in the bed with me, and then they'll get the kids first. So the haints, and then I don't want to say the things that scare me because then I'm afraid people will do them to me.
Oh, okay.
Like they'll hear it and then they'll go, oh, she doesn't want her toenails ripped out with pliers. Let's go find her and do that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was like that deep. I mean, like I thought maybe snakes or something.
No, I'm not scared of snakes. No, it's all got to do with getting in my hotel room.
Oh.
Elaborate on what you do in your room to prevent that.
Oh, okay. Well, I've got my bear spray by the bed. I've got my knives. I've got my mace. And I've got this little alarm thing. I barricade the door, and then I've got locks on it where an alarm will go off if the door opens. And then I put chairs and everything. If there's a sliding glass door in it, I will put poles in there and then put barricades in front of the thing, too. I think it's important to safety. But my self-defense coach says that because I'm so vigilant, that's good.
It's very good. It's
very good.
Hotel rooms are scary. I mean, did you hear that story in Nashville
about the guy
at
the
sucking the toes?
Excuse
of the
me,
yes.
Devon. Yes, he was at the dadgum nice Hilton.
Yes.
So you think, okay, like I always think, if I pay a little bit more for this hotel, then I'm going to be safer. But the downtown Hilton, that's by the Bridgestone, that is like one of the nicest hotels you can go to down there.
Yeah,
so it's not boutique, but whatever. So you go there, the man wakes up in the hotel room and with his toes being sucked.
Well, a woman was her toes were being sucked. It was a man too.
I only heard about the man.
Well, he was just sucking toes all over the place.
He had a foot fetish, like
That's
Tre.
Some people pay good money for that.
I know.
They do.
OnlyFans, yeah.
OnlyFans, yeah. But I feel like you need to get off the phone.
I gotta find that picture.
God.
I have a one-track mind here.
No, you don't.
And your top the next three things, the third thing that you're afraid of.
Yeah, Tayla, keep going.
I mean,
Filibust.
Well, you're saying about Halloween, but I mean, I guess it's if they.
It doesn't have to be. It can be anything.
It's
I think things
well.
that
I
scare
mean,
you.
I'm afraid I'm going to die from a hippopotamus, but I'm afraid that if I say that, somebody is going to feed me to one, because I put it into the universe. So I mean, I guess that yeah.
That's nice.
That's
We'll
a
fly
really
that
good
in.
pic.
We'll
We'll fly that in.
Where's the
Thank you for
camera? Here it
finding
is.
it. Yeah, he's got it.
Well,
Everybody's got it.
Okay, well I'm holding M&Ms.
Oh.
So maybe I liked M&Ms when I was a kid.
It's probably all they gave you. What's he got on? Is that his hairy legs or is that a jean?
No, I was khakis.
Let me see.
I'm dressed as a hobo.
Still.
Mm-hmm. And that was at his house in Hendersonville by the lake. We'd always do a Halloween.
What's on your face? Dirt?
I was a hobo, yeah, dirt.
And is that a ashtray full of cigarettes?
Oh, he was smoking back then, yeah. He smoked 20 years, and he quit.
And then do you have two different socks on, or is that dirt on your legs?
I am a hobo.
Yes, baby.
So
I
I probably
understand
have two
that.
different
I
socks
got
on,
you. You was a
And
hobo.
I'm probably dirty, and I'm probably looking for a place to crash.
His hair's straight.
It's about 79, 80. It's not straight. I think I'll show Devin.
It's brushed.
Devin will know what year this is by the hairstyle.
It's brushed hair.
I think it's 8. It's right when he changed.
It's right before the perm was
Right.
like perm.
Right.
Yeah, he's got it brushed. Yeah.
I'll say it's about 79.
Yeah. that
Steve's
sounds
going to
about
help
right.
us put it in the thing.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, that was a good memory that every year they had Halloween and we'd all go walk around. This is before Twitty City. This was back in Hendersonville.
But he'd walk around with you?
Yeah, they'd walk around. Him and Mick would walk around with us and trick or treat. Sure.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And I also learned that Tayla's afraid of a hippo eating her. So
That's my biggest fear.
I've been obsessed with these nature videos on Instagram.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
like lions eating stuff and like alligators attacking jaguars out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop watching those things. It's so, I don't know, primal. It's like nature. It's like
The real Tarzan.
It's like
if you
you're-
follow the real Tarzan, that'll get you.
It's like you're walking out and you're just a cheetah or you're just a nice little gazelle having a good old day, and then you get eaten by a lion. Like that's their life. They get eaten. And could you imagine if we just walked outside and somebody tried to eat us? Shut up.
What's something something else you're scared of, Tre? What is one of your top 3 fears other than that?
Fears? Mm-hmm. What other than what?
Other than being eaten.
That's not a fear. That's just, I think that's interesting of the world.
Okay.
What's my fear?
Yeah. Top 3 fears.
I don't like spiders. I can't stand spiders.
Spiders?
I don't like spiders.
Oh, Derek, nice. Thanks.
What? I don't like the sun. I'm not scared of it. I just don't like it. It's too bright. It's too hot. Fear. What do I fear? You know.
Commitment.
That's great.
That's your number 1 fear.
I can't say you're wrong. Responsibilities, like heavy like day-to-day responsibilities. Like
Not heavy responsibilities.
No, not like I don't want to take care of things that poop, and
so you don't want a pet.
I don't want a pet
Or a plant.
I don't want to be
You
in
said
charge.
it the other day when I was talking to you. You said, I don't want to have to take care of anything every day.
No.
Including yourself in some ways.
Yeah, that's not a fear, though. It's just kind of like a preference.
It's a fear.
Okay.
If you dig deep into that,
Okay,
it is
so
a
I'll
fear.
go with spiders and commitment. And
Sunshine.
well, that's not a fear. I just don't like it.
You also don't like being told what to do.
Well, who does?
It depends.
Do you?
It depends on the circumstance.
That's not a fear, though. That wouldn't be a fear. I hear church bells.
Jesus is watching.
Fear. I don't know. I'm going.
Fear of failure. I think
go.
that you have some of that too.
Okay. Fear, failure, commitment, and spiders.
Wait, is fear of failure true?
I don't.
Or are you just trying to get through this question?
Well, I have to. That's kind of a deep question for me.
Well, we're on a podcast, and you promised me that we could go deeper.
Okay.
So, do you have a fear of failure? And if you, what does that look like?
I mean, I always want to be my best, at my best. And if I can't be at my best, I don't want to do it. So maybe that's a fear of failure. Maybe that's why I have the issues of getting outside of my comfort zone with things, so.
I think if you really ask anyone, everybody's got a fear of failure. It's just, it might be shaped differently, but I think everybody's got that fear.
Yeah.
I mean, a mom is scared to death that she's going to somehow ruin her children, and you always worry about stuff that you're afraid of. I mean, I'm afraid of closed-in places. I can't stand them. I don't like snakes. I'll tell you right now, I don't like snakes, and I don't like narcissist sociopaths. They terrify me the more of anything.
A narcissist is the scariest thing in the world because they will never figure out that it's them.
The sociopath side of it, even more, that part where you go, But, I mean, you guys run into people all the time. Okay. I'm going to ask you, have you ever had a stalker?
I mean, I feel like Tre kind of has. I'm not going to name any names. I've had a little bit of stalking, but it's harmless. I think the stalkers for you are a bit harmless, but it's almost concerning. It's almost scary, but he won't look at it. So he doesn't know where it is. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like he
a
doesn't.
Disappointment to a stalker.
Right?
So
if you're stalking Tre, he has no idea.
It's like if you don't give them any credit for what they're doing, it's like
Then it's all gone to heck. Yeah.
My thing is with that is like if I'm out on the road, if we're at shows and they're around, that's kind of the whole point to me. So I don't mind any of that. If they show up at my house or show up where, it's not associated with Twitty and Lynn or a show or something, then I would be a little more,
Yeah, but I think it's
not as nice about it.
Well, speaking of that, you were talking before we went to air about Conway, and the one thing that he didn't like when a fan came, he loved his fans and appreciated his fans. Remember, he wanted 1,000 fans like Beaver.
Yeah.
So,
well, what
did he not like? When
his
fans
pet peeve was when if he was in the middle of eating his dinner or lunch or whatever, and they came over and asked for an autograph while he was eating, to like make him stop eating, and like he didn't like that. Like he would always say, after I'm done, I'll take care of it, but like I want to finish eating first, So, but like she said, most of the stories I hear on the road are, I met your granddad at a truck stop in 1978, and he was so nice, blah blah blah.
While he was eating.
While he was eating, yeah. So, but I've heard my dad talk about like he couldn't stand being bothered while he was eating.
And do you think anybody would? I mean, that's the
I mean, it's kind of a basic. Why would you interrupt someone while they're eating with, just wait.
I like it. I mean, we're at the point, though, if anybody sees us out anywhere and they recognize us, I mean, I don't care if I'm going to the bathroom. I'm excited we've been recognized.
We got to watch our P's and Q's because like we've been recognized at Buc-ee's.
And we didn't, because we don't expect it at all.
We'll be out there. We'll be having an argument in the middle of Buc-ee's, and then somebody will come on Facebook and say, I saw Twitty and Lynn, the Buc-ee's, they're yelling at each other. Like, it's gotten to that point.
It's exciting. We're excited.
Or that one truck stop in Knoxville or something where we went to check out. And you were behind me, and I did my thing and left, and the girl goes, "Are y'all? See the guy with the hair?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
So please find us anywhere.
Right.
We love stalkers.
She said that, not me.
No, I mean, I'm not worried. If they come out to our house, they won't get very far.
We got the mean old dogs.
Well,
no teeth.
Tyson doesn't have a couple teeth, but everybody else does, don't they, True? All 4 other dogs have all their teeth, don't they, babe? And, I mean, we're rednecks, so it wouldn't be pretty.
I buy True knives all the time. He's got some knives. He'll cut you.
You got them, True? I think it was... Who got the knives, True? All right.
Tayla, what was your favorite costume growing up? What was your go-to?
Madonna.
Oh, God.
Punk rocker.
That makes so much sense.
Doesn't it?
Madonna, yes.
Yes. I always dressed up like a punk rocker or like AKA Madonna. That was my go-to every year for years. I mean, I just thought.
So you went sexy Halloween.
Yeah, from the time I was way too young to be sexy Halloween. When I was getting all them Smarties I wanted and dressing like who knows what. Yes, that was my fave.
And other than hobo, what was your other go-to?
I think I was Han Solo one year.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think I was E.T. one year.
Oh.
When I was in the Air Force, a group of us, 4 of us, dressed up like 1970s, just like disco guys, I guess, and went down to San Francisco to this thing. I shouldn't even get into this on this podcast.
Why?
It's called the Exotic Erotic Ball in San Francisco.
I have heard of this. And you went.
And we went.
Really?
Yeah, we went.
How have you heard of it?
Well,
did you
I
go
have not
to?
Always been old.
Did you go to it?
Oh, hell no. I'm Baptist. We weren't
at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, and they had all kind of bands in there. And what I recall, this is 1997 or 1998. And Sugar Ray was the headliner.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. And, like, I walked down through the hallway, and they had, like, all the bands playing and where they're at. And I saw a sign that said Joan Jett and the Blackhearts this way. I was like, Joan Jett is playing here? So I followed the sign around, down. It was like in a locker room of the Cow Palace. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts were playing to about 6 people.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this. So I sat there and watched Joan Jett with about 6 people and had a great time.
But that's really fascinating because the pictures that kind of make it out into the world from the erotic ball are.
Oh, it was that. That was there too. I'm not going into that part of it.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of naked people.
Yeah.
A lot.
Thank you, Devon.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. I'm going to go into that because I'm going Tre.
No. I was on my P's and Q's that night.
You went, but I would have gone to see Joan Jett. I mean,
She wasn't even advertised. It was like I thought it was like a tribute band, but it was her.
How did you realize it was her?
Because I know what she looks like. Because I went, I was sitting like from me to you, from Joan Jett on the stage, and she had short blonde hair, and it was great.
You know, have you ever, I mean, that's the kind of thing that sometimes you find yourself in the audience and you go, this is a moment. And maybe nobody else was there or something. You go, I have this really close personal connection at this concert. Have you ever had that happen, Tayla, where you just kind of
I have not been to a lot of concerts.
I got
of you, of all people, I said.
I don't really like to go to concerts. They're at nighttime.
Oh, that's right, because you're a morning person.
Yeah, if they had concerts in the morning time, I would go all the time. But waiting for them to come on, the headliners.
Lee Curtis said when they asked her after the Oscars, they said if they would only have these at like 3 p.m, it'd be fine.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't really go. I've probably been to 10 concerts, other than Meemaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're in them.
It's not. I'm not interested really.
And Tre, you now, have you heard those magic moments? Like obviously, Joan Jett was one.
Yeah, and I got to photograph Kiss last year on their last show.
No.
Yeah, in October, and a friend of mine got me like full access to everything, and I'm a lifelong Kiss fan since I was 12 years old. And it's always been I've always wanted to shoot them, and I got to shoot their last show in Nashville. So I got to sit in the pit for the first 2 songs and photograph Kiss, and then we went out to the soundboard and watched the show. And then after the show, I went backstage and saw all that. And, Gene and Paul were gone, but I met Tommy and Eric. And it was just kind of a surreal moment to be a fan of a band your whole life, and then you get a chance to photograph them. Then you get a chance to go back into the, into the private part of that. It was very surreal. I did see Gene's daughter and Paul's son. Paul's son was in a band called Amber Wild. He opened up for him. And then Gene's daughter, what's her name? Sophie. Sophie was back there. So
Paul Stanley is one of the prettiest men I've ever seen in my life. He's beautiful. He was in New York when I was there, and a friend of mine went out with him, and she says, "What, you want his number?" I so wrote it down.
Did you ever call him?
No.
You didn't get.
I tried. I picked up my little book and I was going to call him, and I go, then what do I say?
Huh?
Then I'd be a stalker.
One time I went and
They like
saw.
him.
One time I photographed Damien Rice. You know who that is? Damien Rice. I got to photograph his show, and me and my friend Tyler went down there, and it was in Atlanta at the in Athens at the Georgia Theater, I think.
Yeah.
And shot the show, and then me and Tyler went out back behind the theater, and we started a fire in the trash can. And Damien just walked out and hung out with us and started talking to us about everything. So that was kind of an interesting moment that I had. I think he was waiting on a girl to. I think he was like killing time until this girl was ready to go off. But it was fun talking to him. He lives in Ireland, I think. And he was over here touring, like he went to Memphis and Birmingham and Atlanta, and he was talking about Sun Records and the 50s and that kind of stuff. So that was an interesting moment.
I think that we probably end up in rooms talking to people that we aren't, it's like, how did I get here? And you ever ask yourself, how did I get here in this moment, and sitting in rooms? And
I'm a recovering drug addict, so yes, Devon, yes.
She can go lots of places with that.
Many times.
Well, speaking of going places, I want to talk about.
Well, I mean, I had that happen with Meemaw.
Really?
Yeah, the first time I met Meemaw was out here. Well, talked to her at least. Was at the ranch at one of the Conway shows, and she was still playing. And somehow I ended up. It was just me and her in the dressing room, somehow, and she started talking to me about my family. I started telling me stories about my aunts and my dad and Conway and this, that, and the other. And she was just talking. I was just listening. And, I couldn't get over that this was Loretta Lynn, telling me about stuff that only my family knows, So it was just kind of a surreal moment to hear her telling me all these things that I thought only was inner circle stuff that she knew all about.
That she was in the inner circle.
Yeah. So it really proved how close her and Poppy were as friends, that she knew all this stuff that I thought were family secrets,
Tayla, What was Meemaw's magic when it came to fans? I mean, she never lost her patience. I never ever heard of her losing her patience. How on earth did she do that? I mean, we know that Conway's pet peeve was when they came up to him while he was eating. Did Meemaw have a pet peeve about when you would come
I
up to
never
her?
heard her say anything
She would cook
except
for-
good
she'd cook
for the
for 'em.
fans. Yeah. Never. I mean, she
cook
built a
for 'em?
camp. Not that I know of.
I thought she always like, come on, get you some, whatever she had on the. She'd always share, right?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I never heard that.
Maybe I got it wrong.
What are you talking about?
I thought she always was like, share, like if fans came on the bus, she would like feed them.
Oh, well, I mean, if a fan came on the bus, but
Yeah,
she,
that's what
if
I
a
meant.
fan was on the bus, they were her friend.
Yeah,
Usually.
okay.
But, I mean, they built a campground for the fans, basically. You know, I don't think she ever. She knew where she knew who paid the bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fans.
You know, and what do you base that in? I mean, where do you think she got that sweetness about all that from?
I think she was always so sweet. I just don't think she changed. And the fact that people would come out and see her, I think she genuinely was excited about that and genuinely, like, was grateful that people paid to come see her sing and stand in line. Like, she got that.
I think I can add to that. I think that her journey was so atypical of a singer. Like, she was a mother and a wife, and she had 5 kids before she ever. Is that how many kids she had before she?
4.
4 kids, and she was 28 when she made her debut. She started, so she was already had a whole other life, and she never planned on being a icon. So I think whatever her natural way about her was just continued when she became an icon.
Or somebody might have beat her into it. Who knows back then? I mean, they might have been like, who knows? You will stand here and sign these autographs. And then she was then, regimented to do it. Who knows?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, you never know. I have no idea. But she really was truly like
No,
that.
Yeah, she had a sweetness about her always.
Well, and she'd get on to us too, like, always if we didn't do it. Like especially like when we went on the road with her. If she couldn't get out there really anymore, she made sure that my aunts, myself, my dad were out there until everybody was gone outside the bus too. They'd stand around the bus. Or Tim would bring things into her to sign all the time as well. So,
Can we talk about ghosts for a minute?
yes.
Because it's our Halloween show, and I got to ask about it because the Hurricane Mills Mansion is a haunted place. It's haunted Tennessee, and it's been on countless TV shows.
Yes.
Where they followed the ghost around and stuff like that. Have you ever seen yourself, the woman in white?
I haven't, but I brought my medium out there.
You have a medium.
Yes. Yes, I do.
See, we're learning.
What, True? You saw the woman in white? Well, come here. Hurry up. Chop, chop. Oh, you're coming that way. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Here's a ghost right here.
Sit down right here. Don't act like you're too big for him. Okay. Go ahead. Tell him what happened.
On the top deck, me and Scout were driving by, and we saw a lady in a white dress on the top, deck right outside of the bathroom door,
When?
last summer.
Why didn't you tell me about it?
We have.
I didn't remember. Oh, okay.
Good story, True.
Do you know who she is? I mean, have you done the history of the
Yes.
house? And you know
So
who she is?
what are they called, True? Heather, what are they called? The Andersons. She had the baby and she ended up dying from childbirth. The baby passed away. And my medium that came out said, did you go with us that day when Megan was there? She said that you can see how sick the woman is, and then she's going out there to just get air or whatever, and it's just like Meemaw would say she was wringing her hands. Her name was Beulah. You are right, because as Meemaw said that too, and she'd be out there just trying to get, but she died the next day, right? Yeah, and so Dad would always talk about being able to feel in the brown room, which was my dad's room, feel somebody in there. The medium felt more spirits, like a congregating room in what was Sissy's bedroom next to it. And then she could feel my grandfather kind of following us around while we were there. But she said, I guess Meemaw was still alive, that he goes where she goes. So she was at home. Meemaw was home at that time. And that there were some angry males. Not my grandfather. He was smiling all the time. But there was some angry male energy there too. And then I'm looking over here because Heather that does the tours at the ranch is sitting over in the corner. Down at the church house, at the church, that was the first building. I'm just looking at you so you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't do history stuff much.
The church is also one of the oldest Masonic lodges in the state.
Oh, okay.
They still hold meetings upstairs also.
Yes, it's the oldest one of the oldest Masonic lodges in the state. So there were kids. She saw kids out front of the the old church house. And then she said there was also some.
There's also a schoolhouse that's right there on the agenda.
Oh, yes. So the schoolhouse. I may not have even told her that was a schoolhouse because I don't think about it being called that. Yeah, they're beside each other. So if you come to the ranch, there's a tree that fell into the schoolhouse now. So it's she felt so much that she was very overwhelmed. I have not felt anything there. Meemaw always did. When I lived with Meemaw in Nashville, you could hear whispers. I felt somebody touch my hand. You could feel it all over that house.
The house in Nashville?
Mm-hmm. I think they followed her around.
Ah.
Yeah.
So she talked to him.
Yes. Yes, she talked to him.
She found him kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Like any good mountain woman would.
Yeah, well, they are fascinating. I mean, yes.
And they would rearrange the pictures going up the...
I've heard that. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. Knock them off the wall.
Up the stairway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, knock them off the walls. I've never
Do
seen.
you have ghost tours at Halloween there?
No, but we should. I don't know why not. No. Ah! Did you do that? Who did that?
No.
Oh my God! It was my phone.
See?
I know.
The Halloween show.
They don't want one. I think that's it. I try not to get too involved with them over there. Every time I walk over there, if I go upstairs, I say, I'm coming into your space. I'm bringing in Jesus. Please don't attach to me. Please don't hurt me. I don't mess with them. I walk around and say, I love you. I hope that you're okay. And I just try to conjure them up a little bit.
Oh. What about
But
you?
I think they're mad about the Halloween thing.
They don't want a Halloween tour. Tre,
They don't.
Have you ever seen a ghost?
No.
You believe that they're possible beings?
Sure. I'm sure anything's possible. I don't see them or hear them or get their vibrations, so I guess I'm not gifted. My sister does. My sister's
No,
all.
really?
Oh yeah, my sister and Tayla, they're a lot alike. She's all into the ghosts and the aliens and the.
I'm not into aliens.
Well, and my Aunt Kathy and I think Poppy, they were all kind of on that level of. I'm more of a logical creature, I guess. So, but hey, if y'all want to make yourself known to me, I have an open mind about it.
Be careful.
I've just never seen one. Be careful.
Yeah.
About what?
Oh,
I'm
saying,
all about.
come on.
I love to see an alien or a ghost or anything.
I'm not talking to the aliens, but the
Well,
ghosts.
it's
You got to
all-
be careful. Just be nice.
Come on, ghost. Come on, ghost. Oh, Casper. I don't know what y'all. This is not my forte.
No, but everybody's different on their journeys. I mean, some people like. Do you ever watch scary movie? What's a scary movie that you would watch?
Me?
Oh, you just watched that scary movie called Teeth.
No, that's not really a scary movie. I just did. I watched that like 10 years ago. But yeah, thanks for saying. I just watched it. Don't explain the plot of that movie on this podcast. I'm not a huge horror fan.
See, I'm not either. They scare me. I don't want to see the horror shows.
And I don't really have a favorite horror movie.
God, I love scary movies.
Well, that's not my thing.
I don't like
but
scary
I am.
movies.
I'm into like the real life, like the serial killer stuff and the true
You love the ID
the true
channel.
crime documentaries.
Okay, your go-to serial killer that you go, I'm fascinated with this person's life.
Life.
Yeah, or how they did what they did.
Well, the Zodiac has not been caught, so he was obviously
Be careful.
what?
I don't want to talk about anybody that hasn't been caught.
Well, he's probably dead by now, but he was never caught. So that's kind of
But he could
fascinating.
have a copycat.
There's a great conspiracy about the Son of Sam murders. That
hate this.
there was
I hate what we're doing. Because once you put this stuff out into the world, it's bad. Because then they'll attach to us via.
Son of Sam is still alive. She
So
asked.
you don't
she
like the
asked
true
me if-
crime. You don't watch the true
They
crime shows?
will come.
No, they won't.
Son of Sam will feed me to death.
So that's a fascinating little. There's a documentary on Netflix called. Have you seen that? About the Son of Sam, the conspiracy, the book, the Ultimate
Steve,
Evil,
do not get involved.
the Ultimate Evil book. How there was this whole like, there was more than one of them conspiracy. So that's pretty interesting to watch. But I like true crime because there's a beginning, a middle, and an end.
There's not an end. If they haven't been caught, there's not an end.
But they have. I said the Zodiac hadn't been caught.
Well, what are you talking about? A scary movie, there's a beginning, middle, and the end.
But it's made up. True crime actually
The
happened.
Conjuring is based on a real story.
Oh, great.
That's a scary.
Enjoy The Conjuring. I'll watch the Summer of Sam doc, Son of Sam doc.
That's also a movie.
I know.
Mia Sorvino was in that.
I
Remember?
know. Spike Lee directed it. But
They take
she's
photos.
distracted
Well,
now.
they take photos in this alley.
Oh, okay.
So they're probably on that stairwell.
So wrapping up, I don't like horror, but I like true crime.
I gotcha. My go-to is Jack the Ripper. When I went to London,
God, Devon.
I did the Jack the Ripper tour.
This is a Halloween episode.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, let's be careful because I don't feel like getting killed. You know what I'm saying?
You won't.
Okay.
And Jack the Ripper's long gone. Anyway, but I did go to the tour. You know how you go the little ghost tours, whatever. I went.
Was it scary?
It was terrifying, but I'm very sensitive to that stuff, and so
Yes.
I went to this one alley, and I got the hoogly boogly feeling. I mean, I'm going. We were all there, and as a group of people, and they were like there, and I turned around, and I swear I saw an entity,
I believe you.
and I'm going. I did the Jesus prayer all the way back. Do
Yeah.
not attach to me. The whole
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
that you
yeah,
did,
yeah.
you know. But it was very scary. But it, you know, there are those people. I think the real life scares me more than
Yes.
ghost.
Oh,
There's a
no.
great series on Netflix called Mind Hunters. Have you watched that?
Yes,
It's
I
about
saw it the other night.
about profiling. It's about the invention of profiling, and it's really good. It's got her man crush Charles Manson on there talking about it. But
I thought everybody thought Charles Manson was cute. I mean, I did not know this was like a weird thing. Do you think Charles Manson's kind of cute?
who are you talking
Chris?
to? Oh,
There's something attractive about Charles.
well, he was a musician. He was an artist. That's how.
So you know what I'm talking about. You've been acting like I'm crazy,
Well, you're still crazy, but I get it.
but you never said you got it.
Well, I understand. Anyway,
He had all those people
he's
working for him.
the Dennis Wilson of serial killers.
Dennis Wilson of serial killers.
Yeah.
Dennis Wilson of serial killers.
Yeah.
Dennis Wilson. Who is that? What is that?
From the Beach
Devin
Boys.
explained Dennis Wilson.
From the Beach Boys.
Dennis Wilson was the drummer of the Beach Boys, and he
Yo.
actually he was a charismatic, good-looking guy,
Did he kill?
and he actually is the guy that brought Charles Manson into the Beach Boys world. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
know this story?
What?
Obviously.
Tell it, but do it simple.
Charles Manson was this he was a guy that I don't want to get too deep into
Yeah,
that.
go.
No.
Do it.
Well, Charles Manson had all these women who
Yeah,
would
right.
do his bidding, and,
Yeah.
and guys too. So he would send out his women to go seduce these
Right.
rock stars and bring them back into their compound, and he would befriend these guys because Charles Manson's ultimate dream was to be a rock star. He wanted to be a singer-songwriter. He wanted to be a rock and roll guy. So he befriended Dennis Wilson, and Dennis Wilson got him all these meetings with these rock and roll guys, and actually the Beach Boys recorded a Charles Manson song. And the whole thing about Terry Melcher was this A&R guy. Who was he for? Atlantic Records or something?
I think so. I think it was Atlanta.
He got him a meeting with Terry Melcher, and Terry Melcher passed on Charles Manson. What?
Why?
Because he wasn't that good.
What, could he sing?
He was okay.
So did people think that the Beach Boy guy was involved in murders?
So this is all time. So Terry Melcher's house was the house on Celio Drive. That was his house first, and he moved. But Charles Manson didn't know that. So he sent people up where Sharon Tate got killed, and Roman Polanski, that was their house, but they got it from Terry Melcher. So Charles Manson thought Terry Melcher still lived there, so he sent his people up to go kill Terry Melcher because he turned him down for a record deal. But they killed Sharon Tate and her friends instead. So that was all tied into
How did they get caught that it was Charles Manson's people?
how they get caught. They actually had some kind of like, it was kind of weird. They had some kind of, like they stole cars all the time or something. Am I telling this right? Do you know the story?
Yeah.
So it was very indirect. It was an indirect way they got caught, but ended up, there was a whole, he killed the LaBianca murders and all kind of stuff.
Okay. This is our Halloween. This is so interesting. Now it's interesting. How did Charles Manson convince all these people to be into him?
Because he read a book called How to Influence People, and what's it called?
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar.
Is it still out?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just
Has everybody read it?
he would find these runaway teens that were, disenchanted by their parents or by the 60s or whatever, and he would prey upon their insecurities.
How old was he?
Charles Manson, early 30s.
How old were those girls?
Little teens.
They were like, da.
So they were looking for something, and he was providing that.
And did he have a place?
Spawn Ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd he get that place?
He just made a deal with the what was his name? George Spawn. Yeah, George Spawn on the raise the older guy.
Because the studios left the ranch.
Yeah.
They built their own, so he was hurting for money anyway.
So they made a deal with George Spawn. They would live there and take care of the ranch and take care of him and blah, blah, blah. So that's how they got that. That's where their compound was.
And so those girls died being for Charles Manson.
Who died?
Those girls.
You're talking about Sharon Tate. And
No, the girls that killed them.
Well, they went to jail for being for Charles Manson.
But didn't they die being for him too? Wasn't there an interview out just recently, like with one of them?
One of them got paroled, I think, recently.
God.
They didn't. They all went to jail for Charles Manson. They didn't die for Charles Manson.
And he died of cancer.
Yeah. But that was his whole thing was he didn't kill anybody.
Were people still for Charles Manson when he died?
Well, he's got the weirdo fans. He's got the whole neo-Nazi people that are like, the
What
weirdo.
did the Nazis have to do with Charles
he
Manson?
carved a swastika in his head. He
Yeah,
had
they
a
all
whole
did.
bunch of them. Yeah.
They all did.
Because he loved the Nazis?
It's just a whole thought process. It's a
Mind control. Back to narcissist sociopaths. See, it all comes
Speaking
around.
of narcissists,
But do you think he was a
sociopaths.
narcissist?
Yes, I do. Absolutely, positively. And he was a sociopath, and he knew his mark, and he went out to get them.
Did he get better?
No.
He did not get
No,
better. Are
no.
you sure?
Yeah.
Did they do an interview with him at the end?
Many.
Yeah.
Many. He never.
He didn't want to get paroled. He wanted to stay in prison.
He liked it in prison.
Yeah,
Why?
because he was a god there.
How many minutes is this podcast? 120. I bet it's at least 45 minutes, isn't it?
Remember, we went to that prison in West Virginia where he asked to be transferred to, and they told him no, because he was from that home. That was his hometown.
Why wouldn't they? Now you talk about feeling ghosts. That prison, whatever that prison was, you could feel dark energy all over that place.
We went to the West Virginia State Prison in
West Virginia,
Yeah.
Moundsville.
and it's a museum now, but
We went by ourselves. It was just with the guy that runs and ourselves.
We had a private tour, and they have a letter, Charles Manson, where he wrote the warden asking to be transferred there because that's where he's from. and the warden said no.
It's one of the scariest places I've ever. You talk. What it was scary,
Well,
wasn't
Tennessee State Prison is haunted, where they did Green Mile.
Yes,
It
yes.
terrifies me too. I mean, I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, God, do you want to go see? No,
No.
do
I don't want anything to attach to me, and I truly believe if you don't walk around doing the prayer and have your rose oil, they're gonna attach.
Well, I think that's a great way to close the podcast.
Be careful. Use your rose oil.
This will be a weird one, but it should be interesting.
I think it is a weird one.
Can I
Yeah.
throw you
A bone.
yeah, when you were on the radio, I mean, it's in the movie world, and when you did the interview after Mima died, in Philly with Andy, the morning show thing, you had mentioned her tour bus and that she watched horror films.
Yeah.
Yeah, was she really into them, or?
Well, she really. I mean, the first time I ever saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre was with Meemaw. She loved horror films, but she really loved, I don't know what they're called, but like low budget horror films. Those were her fave. Like we'd all snuggle up to watch, the Alien Strikes Back or whatever. I mean, she loved scary movies. That was her go-to. Or I always say like,
Strikes Back.
you know what I'm saying? Like it would be like an alien inserting its body into, I mean, that sounds bad, but like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was never like going to see The Conjuring. She would have loved that, but she really loved.
Like the Boggy Creek.
Yeah,
movies,
just like, 1979, that horror movie.
They make her laugh, or?
No, I mean, she probably, okay, I say this with love, but she probably was like, I cannot believe that alien could get inside of that little girl like that. I mean, like, she believed them. Because they're real, for gosh sakes. So
I think that's adorable. I think that really.
She had a child like, she was a very wise woman, but she did have a child. Like, I mean, I'm holding on to this chair for dear life because we're talking about all this, but she had a childlike imagination when it came to like scary movies like that. Like, I mean, we were all buckling up because it could happen at any moment, whatever we were watching. But then she'd top it off with her Jesus shows,
Yeah.
John Haggerty or whatever. She'd top it with that before she'd go to bed.
See, that's the way to end the night.
That's
the way to do it. It's like keep you from being too scared going
yeah,
to bed.
yeah. Trick or treat.
Trick or
Smell
treat,
my
everybody.
feet. Give me something good to eat. I'd like to just wrap up with this one thing is I didn't mean like I got everything I wanted about those Smarties. What I meant was we just got as much sugar as we wanted.
Thank you for clarifying that, Taylor.
That's been bothering me the
You've been carrying that around with you.
That's
a
all I've
heavy
thought of
weight.
is the whole
Let it
time.
down, baby. Let it down.
Mine wasn't meaning Mama gave us everything. I just meant she gave us Smarties. Remember those Tartan Tinies?
Yes.
God, I wish they still had those. They'd come in a box. One time I had a dream that all those Tartan Tinies fell all over my Aunt Bill's kitchen floor, and I had to pick them up. And
You got some influence now, right? The candy company. You never know.
Yeah.
all
They
right.
do that stuff. They do throwbacks now. Somebody, that's Pepsi, right?
He said that can be Twitty and Lynn.
Tartan Tiny.
Tinies. Twitty and Lynn. Tart and Tinies.
Actually, that's perfect. Tart and tiny.
Tinies.
Oh, I'm the tart one?
Yeah, isn't that like sour?
Sure.
You're not sour on stage or on this podcast.
What? When am I sour?
Whenever you're not on stage or the podcast.
Around you? Maybe
When
that's
you're in the
something.
Buc-ee's parking lot.
Maybe that's something that you bring out of me. Own that a little bit. Unpack that feeling. Process that emotion. Perhaps you're the culprit of my sourness.
That's exactly what a narcissist would say. He's not a narcissist. Cut. Okay. Well,